Well, hi, and welcome back to Series 2 of the Passionate Pioneer podcast. I'm not sure if we are streaming live. It says we are. It says it's preparing. Okay. Well, obviously, I am Beth, and I'm your Passionate Pioneer. My motto: empowered women, empowered lives. Let's design your life fueled by passion and purpose. And without further delay, let's get started. And today I'd like to welcome my guest speaker, Sabre BRUFFY. Hi, Sabre.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Hopefully you can hear me okay. We're in a busy cafe here in Paris.
Yes, so this is a perfect example. So just before we were about to go live and start this video, Sabre messaged me to say that she had a problem with the Wi-Fi. It had gone down and out of her control, out of my control. And so she said, can I go to a cafe and can I do the interview in the cafe? And I said, sure. It's a perfect classic example of the entrepreneur journey and how we deal with the crap that's thrown at us at the last minute, right?
Absolutely.
Let's start the question. So you've got an interesting bio. Let me see. So Sabre is a digital entrepreneur and speaker. And she inspires women to create their own freedom through online business. Fueled by a personal journey of overcoming addiction and depression, she left college and built a thriving affiliate marketing career. Today, Sabre leads the Wealth Warriors Emporium, empowering others to leverage social media for freedom and self-expression. As a co-host of a multi-million-dollar mastermind, she's transformed thousands of lives. She travels the world, igniting the fire in entrepreneurs to build their brands and legacies online. Well, I think that's just a fabulous bio, Sabre. And I know personally, and our listeners want to hear more about this story. So tell me, what initially sparked your passion? Did you always know you wanted to pursue this dream, or was it a journey of discovery?
Definitely a journey of discovery. Definitely a journey of discovery. You know, reflecting on it now, I'm actually 29 years old. And this is the year that I would have graduated from Stanford Medical to be a plastic surgeon. Can you imagine? That was my initial goal coming out of high school. It was my goal. It was my family's goal, actually, because I have a Japanese background. My grandmother spoke a lot of Japanese. We've got my grandmother's side, we have lots of doctors, and on my grandfather's side, we have a lot of musicians. So there was this like creative side, and there was this like traditional, scholarly side. And of course, the security that I was sold on around the scholarly side, that's really what I went out of school to figure out. And when I graduated high school, I actually graduated in 1 year, but I was in foster care at the time. So, coming from addiction, part of my background is my mom, unfortunately, she passed opiate overdose right before I turned 18. And it was a very rocky childhood time. She was sober until I was maybe 12 years old, but 12 to 17 years old for 5 years of my teenage years. I was in foster care, going back and forth, all these different homes. That's kind of was the big seed planted on me trying to figure out, but really ultimately getting the message that I had to forge my own path, even from a very young age, because I was put into the foster care system. I don't know how they call it here in Europe, but foster care is when the government will take your kids if you're not suitable to be a parent, so they put you with a different family. And
Well,
Yeah, so
actually, I'm adopted, so I think we do have a foster care system over here. So I was in the foster care system,
okay,
as was my brother, until we were adopted. And it happened quite fast for us, I think, because we were very young, we were babies. I think when
yeah,
you're an older child, it's a lot more difficult to get adopted because most parents want babies. It's a bit like animals, to be honest. We all want the puppy and
yeah,
the kitten. We don't want the older dog or the older cat. You know,
yeah,
just as a simple analogy, right? I mean, it's the same with children, right? I think that's but there was a big opioid crisis in America, right? And you said your mum was it opioids,
yeah.
did you say? So maybe, you know, everyone, there was it was a big problem many years ago, right? I don't know whether it's still a problem now, but
Still is,
right,
definitely still is.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But you know, through adversity, we 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 become the victor. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
that sounds
Yeah,
like that's
and
been
that's
your
kind of
story.
yeah, that's kind of where I started to. I just knew that I wanted to create something very different than what my mom created. She was somebody who actually was such a she was so creative in so many ways. This woman could build a house. She did carpentry. She could work on computers. She could sing like an angel. She's a bodybuilder. She could play every musical instrument she could ever pick up. She just had all these gifts. So she was trying to fit in a box of society and trying to go to school, trying to do everything as a single mom, like just and it was really just the example of what happens when we don't fulfill our dreams passion and we get suffocated by the matrix, by society's demand on free spirit, right? That the
Right.
spirit just gets in this cage. So I yeah, I had a fire activated in me so much when she passed away. And at the time, I thought that was like being very ambitious for a college degree, but very soon, do you know what Burning Man is? Burning Man Festival?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do know the Burning Man Festival. Yes.
Yeah, so I ended up getting introduced to Burning Man in college. That introduced me to the world of creative entrepreneurship, nomads, people that were traveling full time, doing a myriad of things, whether they were working online or just teaching globally, and retreats, these kinds of things. And I thought, like, why am I going to school, medical school? I don't even like blood, but I really want to do something that's creative. I'm a creative at heart, and this is fun. I want to have fun for a living. And so I just pursued being a full-time artist. I ended up just like dropping out of college, dropping out of my last job in 2016. Never worked for anybody ever since then. I bought a bus. I ended up traveling full time, being a full time artist, and actually became fairly successful vending my art at festivals, like booth and selling art. But actually, how I found affiliate marketing was around this time where I got super burnt out. I went to 26 festivals in 2019,
Oh,
26 festivals back to back to back to back. So I was
right.
lots of fun, right? But also no sleep. And it was just so stressful making stuff, buying stuff, reselling stuff, setting up, tearing down, traveling. So I was like, well, I thought this was gonna be my freedom lifestyle, but it was it was it was worse than the cage box in college. I thought, well, that shit, at least I have, it was part of my French. It's like, at least I had a paycheck, right? Somebody paying me hourly and I had the structure that I could follow. Now for me, it was like, I was just juggling everything as one woman. So yeah, when I found affiliate marketing, it was actually at the beginning of 2020. Perfect timing because festivals were no longer happening that year. I would not have even been able to continue doing my artist work at festivals. But I had found affiliate marketing just beforehand, and this idea of having, you know, partnering with businesses that do all of the structures and the fulfillment and the making of the products and all these things really attracted me. So I thought I was a one woman show as an artist, and I was like, you're talking about I can partner with products or services, and I can actually earn commissions and not have to, you know, be the one that's making the products, delivering them, handling the financing, creating the website, this. So yeah, I went in and never looked back. I didn't have any experience in it, but it really changed my life. And it's been the vehicle, the business vehicle that's allowed me to travel full time and make almost as much in one single month as I used to make that year when I went to
Right,
26 festivals in one
right,
year. So
right.
it's like I'm working so much less, no inventory, living here in Paris, France now. And yeah, for someone that, didn't come from money and didn't have financial literacy taught to me, or, I didn't have any family members that were successful business owners or anything like this, it
Right.
was, gave me the opportunity to really build something different for myself. I just had that fire in my belly, and I think that that's all we really need to create some success in our lives. That fire in the belly and finding the right community, the right way that we want to monetize our passion. The rest is up to the universe.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. The rest is up to the universe, right? So when you did all these festivals, were they all in the States, all in America?
Yeah.
And even though you were networking, I suppose that made it difficult because you were transient, right? You were just moving from place to place, and it's very difficult to actually market. There wasn't the online community that there is now. And you were meeting people face to face, right?
Yeah, which was fun. It was fun to be meeting it face to face, but it was just so much time from me, right? I was working 80 plus hours a week, and I was so out of shape, and because I didn't have any time to work out. My whole life was just wake up and work and go to sleep.
Right. So we're talking about that group then, that network of support. So
hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay. So sorry, they're saying that there's a booking right here, so he's gonna tell me to here. So I'm just gonna grab my computer.
Okay.
Move it over.
Okay, no problem. We did say we would just go with the flow, and we would absolutely support this this podcast today, because this is real life, people.
This is totally real life. I never expected the internet to have issues with Paris. It did when I went to Mexico and Bali, but you don't expect it in Paris.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite ironic, really, because I live on a mountain, and my Wi-Fi comes through satellite, and I often find that my Wi-Fi is actually stronger than my clients who live in cities.
So funny.
It's the weirdest thing, right? It's just the weirdest thing. But anyway, here we are, and we are continuing. What's it? Carry on regardless, right? Keep calm and carry on regardless, right?
What was the question that you had?
Okay, so the question was about the network and the support that you've received. Obviously, when you were doing your traveling for 1 year, it was, you networked, but that was in person. It was very difficult to, I suppose, maybe to keep in touch, and you were so busy, it's difficult to form a community. So when you took the next step and you decided to do this affiliate marketing, since then, obviously your life has changed, your world has changed. So who were your mentors and your support network? Who inspired you on this journey?
Yeah, so the way that our business works is very much around lifestyle. You brought me my water. It's very based around lifestyles and what we call attraction marketing. So it was really this woman that was showing up online. She's a single mom. She's also an artist herself. She was just really talking about her vision, how she also transitioned from being a full-time artist to being a single mom who wanted to simplify the way that she made money and online, and was monetizing her social media, really like getting paid to be her. And I was like, I have seen many YouTube ads and advertisements come up on different ways to make money, and a lot of them felt very masculine, a lot of them very just very, I don't know, it just didn't really excite me. It didn't really feel like something that felt authentic to me. So this woman, I could literally see she transitioned out of the lifestyle that I was currently living to something where she was really just being authentic to who she was. She was like doing sound healing in this photo, and I was like, wow, these are my people. These are my people talking about making money online, and they're also conscious entrepreneurs, artists, people that have gone to Burning Man. I was like, what?
Right.
So that was what attracted me to it, and then through that, it opened up my whole entire world, because their community is connected to a global community of people just like this that are conscious entrepreneurs, visionaries, people who are really caring about sustainability and the people, planet, and generational wealth. That's one of the biggest things that we do, is support people and tapping into this business model where they can earn guaranteed income for life that they could actually pass on to future generations.
Right.
And that's huge, like that's something that for people who didn't come for money, that's completely changing the trajectory of, your kids and your kids' kids. That's a really big deal. So yeah, it opened up my eyes to what's really possible, because before this community, all I really knew for artists, creatives, and free spirits was a struggle, really. I was like, is this what we got to do? We got to like choose the safe route of going to school and having a paycheck, to being an artist and flying by the seat of our pants and not knowing if we're going to pay rent,
Right.
and dying. Like, I did not sign up for this.
Right.
So it was a very different way to be introduced to a business by like this attraction piece. I was just attracted to that lifestyle, attracted to that vision and that heart, the heart of the community and what they really stood for.
Yeah.
So I have one of my mentors. Her name is 𝒂𝒏 March, and she has a podcast called Unfiltered Feminine. You can look it up. It's so good. Unfiltered Feminine.
Okay.
And she talks about polarity. She talks about doing business in the feminine. She talks about going from motherhood splendor, from being a mom who stopped traveling, stopped doing the things she loves, to freedom lifestyle and the worthiness that we step into as women and the life for ourselves. And whether you're a mom or not a mom, it's definitely a really empowering podcast.
Yeah.
But that's one of my main mentors that introduced me to this business.
Yeah, well, I think that we all go on this journey because we're all trying to, not only forge our own path, which is very courageous, but it's also we want to make a bigger impact. We want to create that, that generational wealth, or the wealth for ourselves, because wealth is not just about money. It's abundance. It's about freedom. It creates freedom. Money creates freedom, and it also it enables us to pass on the baton. We can empower others just by living our truth and living authentically. It can be an inspiration for other women. So that I really like the sound of that podcast. I'll go and give it a listen. Yes, I'm always interested in that kind of empowerment and creating freedom. A freedom driver is what most women have. And I think it goes back in our DNA to just many, many years of the masculine energy on the planet. And, I think it should be a balance. I don't think it should be all feminine. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a good, because the masculine means that we take the action, and the feminine is stepping into, who we are, being authentic, and also some spirituality. And that's knowing that you're a sovereign being, trusting the universe, following the breadcrumbs, understanding everything happens for a reason, that kind of thing. Whereas the masculine's kind of quite hard and direct, but I think it's a good balance of both. And I think that's important, isn't it? Right.
Yeah, I always love to say that the best relationship you'll ever have in your life is when your masculine and your feminine do a really beautiful dance together. That is the best relationship that you could ever have within yourself, is balancing the two. So I fully agree.
Well, series 1 of this podcast was all about women that had left the corporate world. And in fact, it was stepping away from the masculine and understanding that they wanted to be more in their feminine. They wanted to be, this is okay to be me. It's okay to have my voice. It's okay to want more,
Yeah.
and so they stepped away from it. And then, this series 2 now is more of the same theme. But it's talking to women who have forged their own path and how you've done it, which is why you're one of the guests, and that's fabulous. You add a different perspective. You all add, every one of my guests adds a different perspective to following their passions and their dreams, right? So what was the biggest leap of faith that you took to pursue this dream?
I think I was just getting started. Right? It's like
Right.
transitioning. I think one of the biggest leaps was that before I even started affiliate marketing, was just quitting my job and dropping out of college and
Right.
deciding to not pay rent and put the money that I had and go live in a vehicle to try and figure this out as an entrepreneur. But a lot of people wouldn't do that, but I kind of used it as an opportunity to I mean, I think I was, how old was I at the time? Maybe like 22-ish, something like this. Yeah, I was like, what do I got to lose?
Exactly.
Like, I'm young, like, I gotta get my travel in at some point, and worst case scenario, I can go back to school later, so but a lot of people wouldn't do that. It's really scary going out with only a certain amount of money in the bank account and not having a job that you're so used to, and dropping out of college, that I was this close to finishing my associate's degree. So I had done all this work. So it's like I gave it up. I
Right.
gave it up and I threw it away, and I took a chance on me because I just made a decision. I'm like, look, I would rather be free and broke even
Right.
I was like, I know it's not going to be forever, but my choice was, I know that I would rather be free and broke right now in my early 20s than to continue to do something that created so much resistance in my body that
Yeah.
it did not feel aligned to myself. So I think that initial jump was really brave in of itself. And then going into affiliate marketing, I got a lot of pushback when I started. Like, there's still a lot of people out in the world that think everybody who's doing online business or affiliate marketing, they're like, oh, it's an MLM, it's a pyramid scheme, or like it's a scam, or these kinds of things, right?
Because it used to be.
Definitely.
Because it used to be.
Yeah,
It used to be
totally.
pyramid schemes, right? So we're
Yeah,
just going by past experience. We're still living in the past. Stop it, people.
yeah.
Stop living in the past.
I know, yeah. So like for me, like everybody that I knew, they were so skeptical, and they definitely doubted that it would work for them. So they're like, well, I would doubt that why would it work for you? It only works for blah 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 blah. And that was hard. That was hard.
Right.
I actually had to lose a lot of friends because I was like, you know what? If you're not going to support me, also really passionate about this, and I'm going to focus on this. You're either going to support me, we don't have to talk about it, but if you're going to bash it and bash me, I have to let you go. And that was also hard. I had to really just let go. So yeah, I mean,
I think
overall,
that is part of the journey, isn't it, though? Is you have to understand that there's sometimes some people you have to let go of on the journey.
yeah, and
Because
people's opinions, like if they're not living the life that you want to live,
yeah.
why do we care about their opinions?
Right. Right.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Empowered women empower women, basically, right? And so we're at the age, and we're in the era now of let's empower each other. And if we can't get on board with that, then bye-bye, basically, right? I mean, you've got to surround yourself. If you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people, right? If you want whatever you're looking for in your life, find more of that. Find more friends and more people that are actually doing that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that
And they don't
inspires
even
and
have to be
empowers
doing
you.
the same thing. Yeah, and they don't even have to be doing the same thing, but as long as you're surrounded by people who are in a growth mindset and have a
Right.
positive mindset, and they know that, because when somebody has this idea that anything is possible, whatever you put your mind to, then you know that you're in a space of expansion. You
Right.
can't be in expansion when you have contraction. People that complain about the economy or the price of food or gas or their boss
Or
or all
the world is terrible, and oh God, it's just, yeah, exactly. Well, it's just complaining, and complaining gets you nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of people create bonds by commiserating. It's like, I did that growing up.
Misery
Like,
loves company. Misery loves
yeah,
company.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so apart from, you said about, letting go, you've had to let some friends go on your journey. What do you think you've also had to let go of? And, maybe you made the conscious decision to let go of some things that, maybe they were sacrifices, maybe big sacrifices, maybe small sacrifices. But what things did you really let go of?
There's so many. Like, there was like a few that well, one of them was I just moved here in December, and I got rid of everything physically that I had, and I moved here with 3 bags and my cat.
And the cats. Don't forget the cats. I traveled. Hey, my 2 little cats before were like my roaming gnomes. They everywhere I went, they came with me. It was quite funny, really. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I get that. Take the cat. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like physical things, to move to a different country. I just was like, why am I gonna keep a storage? I actually did that when I moved to Costa Rica for a year and a half into my second year doing affiliate marketing. I kind of had the storage because I was like, well, just in case I can't maintain staying, so I kind of had this backup. No, this time I was like, this is it. This is my home. This is my new home. So that was a really big step. And I think another thing too is this one is actually a very recent one with me, which I was telling you, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, on so many of the shifts that I have been letting go. I've been doing affiliate marketing for 4.5 years, and it has taken me 4.5 years to understand that I don't have to try so hard.
Right.
It's like just like unlearning this. It's hard to make money, or I have to work hard to make money. Or this idea that uh, that I have to work all the time. Like, even though I have a business that has so much of this stuff done for me in the last, probably about definitely in the last 2 years, I have created and reinvented the wheel quite a bit unnecessarily, totally unnecessary. More because I was creative, I wanted to do these side projects and these kinds of things. But I kind of caught myself in this trap of where that was coming from, of this belief that I had to that that I that I had to work hard. That's really where it came from. So I actually recently deleted my Calendly app, which feels amazing. I don't have any calls that are booked other than Mondays, except for this one, because you wanted to do Thursday.
Right.
But it's like I got to clear out my schedule, and I think before I felt like I had to always be on, and this just came from my employee mindset this idea of when you're trading your time for money, more if I want to earn more money, I have to work harder. So I always had this idea of, when you start working online, you have your phone with you all the time, right? So all of a sudden, you can always build your dreams every moment of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just like, I went with that, and it was this dopamine hit, and what I realized for me was that was a lot of controlling mechanisms that I had, coping mechanisms that I had that were from really placed from childhood of feeling like I had to survive. Definitely when I got to survive and fight for myself and do all this on my own. And And that translated into my business. And I had to, there's a lot of childhood patterns around scarcity and survival mechanisms, and really learning how to surrender and actually trust that it's safe. Because um, yeah, the reality is there are women that are doing the same business I'm doing that do a lot less and earn a lot more than when
Right.
I was reinventing the wheel and like trying to be in control. And it's all a belief, it's all a mindset. So
Right.
I think that's one of the most interesting things about entrepreneurship is it really is a personal development journey tied with how you're actually earning money, because money is energy, and the more that you connect with how you earn, you give and receive. It's like this direct connection with the universe of
Yeah. Yeah.
how worthy do you really believe that you
Yeah.
are receiving,
Yeah.
and can you actually like be in a position in your life where you can believe that you are worthy of receiving without trying so hard.
Yes, no, absolutely, absolutely. You know, it does stem back to childhood, and it does stem from, you know, what can we control, and it's about holding on to the control, because as humans we do like to have that control. Our brain likes to be in control. We like to control situations. We like to, you know, we have tantrums when other people don't do what we want them to do, because they're, you know, we want to control everything, right? And we can't. The only people we can control are ourselves. We can't control other people. We can't control other situations, right?
Yeah.
We just have to let it go. And and surrender, and there's so much peace and calm that comes over you when you do that, when you just go, oh, I can let that go, right? And it's a lovely feeling, isn't it? So tell me, what are you most proud of accomplishing on your journey so far with everything we just talked about?
Just reflecting on where I've come from and being somebody that's able to like live here in the beautiful Paris, France, and have my own place and be able to actually help people in a way that most people in the world can't say that they are able to help somebody create the life of their dreams, like genuine, right?
Right.
And I've been able to give an opportunity to women who really have that fire under their belly, like I did, and who are able to take this and change the generational like lineage of their family. And that just, I would have not gotten that from going to medical school. And you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. I would have maybe gone, I would have gone in my dream before was to go to third world countries and help babies with cleft palates or burn victims and these kinds of things. And it would have been very helpful.
Yeah.
That would have been really fulfilling in a lot of ways.
Right.
But I just think about how my childhood was and how my mom's life, my life would have been so much more different if we had what I have today,
Right.
and had more resources financially, and just the depth of what that can do for somebody's life. Is the fact that I can offer that for people, offer a way out of the matrix. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, because it's helping people in a different way, isn't it? You know, the medical is very fulfilling, and if you go to a third world country and help them, but actually, you know, we've got, you know, that's third world problems, but we actually have first world problems which we are trying to solve, right? And they may not seem, you know, when you've got real big medical problems like cleft palates and people not being able to find food and stuff, you know, that is a different kettle of fish. But first world problems are just as important, you know, right? We have to, we are the motivators, we are the inspiration, and we help and support other people to step into their own power. And that's so fulfilling, right? You know,
yeah. And there's so much that we can do. There's so much we could do with third world countries rather than, me being the person that's helping one country. What about helping as many people be financially free as possible, to care about the planet, to care about
right.
other people,
Right.
humanity?
Right.
What happened when we give money to the people that we do? I just think it's so much more exponential. That feeling. Yeah, I wake up every day just feeling so grateful and blessed to just be living this kind of life. So, it's not
Right.
even, it's something that I wish everybody could experience in their life, to wake up feeling this on purpose.
Right. So let's talk about that, waking up on purpose. So do you have any practical tips or techniques that you use to stay motivated and inspired with when you've got the external pressures and you've got the, expectations of the world? How do you stay motivated and inspired and wake up with this feeling every day?
Kind of a challenging question, because it really is something that comes from the inside.
Right.
It's not something that, like, hopefully it's actually getting much louder to them now. Hopefully you don't hear all these sirens and all these things going on. So that reservation table.
Right.
It's one of those things that it's not like, oh, I'll turn on my affirmations and I guess I do also, but that's not where it comes from. I really believe it just comes from this internal decision that there's just no option for me to go back.
Right. It's a choice. It's an actual choice, isn't it? Yeah, it's a choice.
Yeah. I just never, there's not even I think it was back in 2017 when I was transitioning into spending, and I thought to myself, I was like, this is the last year that I ever will work for something else ever again. And it was this whole body decision that it was just, and I was dating somebody at the time, and he kind of always had this in the back of his mind. If this doesn't work, then I can go XYZ. And I just never even had that thought.
Right.
I just was like, no, absolutely not. Like, I would never, I could not. I literally could not work for somebody else. Like, I know in my being that I am not going to live this life that way. Like, until people make this internal decision. And it doesn't matter how big your vision is or anything like this, but I just know I came here to Europe actually to buy a castle retreat center in the next 5 years. I really want to give back to foster youth and holistic addiction centers and these kinds of things. And I just know I'm like, I'm not going to die on my deathbed, like wondering what would have happened if I chased my dreams.
Right.
I'm going to just chase my dreams every day. Because that's one of the biggest regrets that the dying have, right? Is not going for what it is that they want. So giving up is just not an option for me. The moment I took giving up off the roster or even like thought of it, I don't need any external motivation or inspiration. I still engage in these kinds of things like coaching and books and podcasts, these kinds of things. But really, at the end of the day, it just comes from making a decision that this is my life.
Absolutely. It's a choice, isn't it? People say, oh, you're so lucky living on a mountain in Italy. Am I?
No.
Am I lucky? Or did you make your own luck, right? You make your own choices, and that's what you decide to do. Are you lucky living in Paris? Yeah. No. Right? You decided to live in Paris. You decided that's where you wanted to go and live. And that's what you're doing, right? And it is about making choices. And it just comes from being self-aware. And once once you're self-aware of, like you said, your mindset, your self-care, your goals, what you want, when you're very clear on those things, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Once you've got that self-awareness, you can't not see it. But then it's a case of choosing that every day. It is a journey, isn't it, Sabre? I mean, it's not easy. Life is not easy, but if you choose, you have to keep choosing me. I choose me every day. Right. So can I hear you, or if you?
Now
No, you've got no. Yes, you went silent for a moment. Yes, okay. Now you're back.
it's probably battling. Zoom is probably battling, trying to figure out who am I listening to.
Whose voice are we listening to? Okay. So I guess that question tied in with self-care and maintaining exercise and healthy way of life, because you said at one point, you when you were on the road and you were doing your art, it was very difficult to prioritize yourself and self-care. So I'm guessing the way that you answered the last question would also tie into self-care, right?
Yeah, I love the way that I live now. I design my life around me as a priority. And, I wake up, I have a really amazing green drink. I don't even drink coffee anymore. Well, unless I'm going off. But I drink a really healthy green drink. I do like calisthenics, always make sure I'm exercising. I get outside every day, I take walks. I always do that. I do that before I do any work or priorities. I don't schedule any work or priorities until afternoon. And
I'm the same. I'm the same.
yeah, it's so nice. It's like I get to have my slow mornings and focus on me and my skincare routine. Like I've developed that over time too. I'm just really focusing on that. I'm kind of blown away right now because actually I had an eating disorder from when I was 8 years old until 24 years old. So
Wow.
16 years binging and purging from a very young age. I mean, my mom wanted me to be a plastic surgeon. You can imagine the influence that I had on body image and what I needed.
Right.
Very challenging, but I feel a lot of that, and I feel a lot of it through dance. So dance is my passion. I love dance.
And I was just going to say, if you haven't seen Sabre's stories, you've got to go watch her stories, because she dances a lot in the stories and it's fabulous.
Yeah, I love dancing, and that's giving me the, because for me, I'm not a gym person. I tried doing the gym and weightlifting a bit, but for me, dancing is the like fun, creative expression. And for me to be a better dancer, I have to be more flexible and I have to be more strong, right? And I can do like different tricks of like splits and handstands and things like this, and it just gives me these fun like goals to shoot for as I'm having fun with fitness and creativity at the same time. So yeah, that's what I really love focusing my time around. And that's mainly like that's been a core thing. I'm not working out and I'm not getting good sleep. There's something wrong.
Yeah,
And I can tell
I
my
hear that.
head, my mental state gets worse and worse. And like the way I eat and things like that. I'll even do water fasts sometimes if I'm feeling like maybe I've had a lot of crap food or I've been traveling a lot and I go out to eat and haven't been eating very well, or maybe just like my mindset is just like I'm feeling a little depressed. I'll go on a water fast for 1 to 3 days, only water, and do a whole detox reset. And yeah, health has been a big priority for me. And I think I was just really needing to take ownership of that, because before, this is a part of the unlearning, right? Because before, when I was working 80 plus hours a week, my health wasn't a priority. Making money was a priority, but the only way I could make money was to work harder at the time, because I was trading my time for money.
Right.
So now, where I do affiliate marketing, and it's like my lifestyle is what attracts people to actually ask what it is that I do. So
Right.
if I'm living an unhealthy lifestyle, it's not very attractive, right? People
Right.
are just like,
Absolutely.
it's like my priority has been to how do I thrive? And not thrive just so people can like, but like thrive because I want to live the most fulfilling life and be that inspiring example of what's possible. And then the more I do that, the more my business grows up, because people want that. They're like, how are you? Most people don't even have the time to do these kinds of things because they are working so much. So it's like, yeah, the way that just my business has transpired has helped me improve my lifestyle as a priority, because I literally make money from my lifestyle.
Right. Well, you've got to lead by example, haven't you? I mean, that's how you empower, that's how you inspire, is you lead by example. Like you said, you can't teach about a healthy lifestyle, and meanwhile you've got a very unhealthy lifestyle. You know, people see the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Right? It's, you know, absolutely. Okay. So let's see, how do you define success in the context of your dreams and goals?
Yeah, enjoy.
Enjoy.
It.
Yeah, joy.
Yeah, if you're just enjoy, if it does not bring you joy, then what is the point?
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting radically honest about that because I know sometimes people can think like how I thought, right? When I was like, oh, I'd rather be broke and free, but eventually I realized it's like, well, am I really free if I'm broke?
Right.
Like,
Absolutely.
so it's like you got to get radically honest of, is this really bringing you joy in all areas of your life? And so that's the thing. So I would think of that, like the top pillars of my life, like the place that I live, the relationships that I have, am I growing? How is my health? How is my connection to the spirit or God or the universe or whatever you want to say? And do I have joy in all of these areas? And of course, money, finances. And if you're like, you're making a bunch of money, but all of this is like, I'm like, no. Or if you're super healthy, but you have crap relationships or you're broke or whatever, right? There's like, you have to have joy in all of these areas. So for me, that's my ultimate goal of success. Like, yes, I also want to be a billionaire. That's my goal by the end of my life.
Very nice. And why not?
But why not, right? But I'm also not attached to that. I don't hate my life right now because I'm not where I want to be. Right. I just know that I need to be in joy around my finance part currently and my health and my relationship, and I keep growing and I'm connected to spirit.
Right.
And when I'm there, I'm in this space of gratitude for what I have while being so excited about my future also, and that's a really beautiful place.
Yeah.
Nice, like that, because then you're in the frequency of success, and then you know the rest of it. It's a guarantee for you. It's not a matter of if.
And it's in your energy, right? It's in your energy. You can feel it. It's contagious, and that's why you say that, you know, you can just, you know, you're not doing anything, but you're still attracting clients. You're still attracting, you know, people to train them and coach them in their affiliate marketing. You know, it's because you're living it and people see that, and it's just in your energy. When it's in your energy, you know, if your energy's off in one of those, you know, in some area of your life, and you're trying to explain something or sell something when you're not really aligned to it, it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. Very good. So what's the most unexpected benefit you've gained from pursuing your goals and your dreams?
Like, I did not know I was going to live in Paris. I didn't even have that thought.
Right.
Wasn't even on my roster. I think no, I think I started my affiliate marketing business because I wanted money. That was like my main, that's really all I could really think of because I was struggling so much. But outside of that, it's just like who I become. Like, even it's helped me in my dating life, indirectly, obviously. In my health, as I said, like really changing my lifestyle, my mindset, my relationships, my community, my healing, my inner wounds, my inner child wounds, my childhood trauma. Like having to really step out of my comfort zone and staying, not giving up, because really knowing innately that I'm worthy. That's all a surprise to me. I didn't know what I was signing up for. I was signing up for like humanity school. I didn't know I just was like, I want to make money and I don't want to have a boss. You know, I don't want to,
Right.
I'm tired of clocking in. I want to dress how I want. Like there are these things. I
Yeah.
remember working at Starbucks, they would not let me have like piercings or tattoos. So I was like,
Right.
I can go figure out how to do
Absolutely,
that,
right? Like,
right? And that's all I thought of at the time. But it's like, it's so much more than not waking up with an alarm clock. All that stuff is amazing. But what comes with that is like, okay, well, then what? Who do you want to be?
right.
And it's like uncovering who you truly are underneath, which I never knew this part of me
Yeah.
when I was in college.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever would have even found it if I continued to work with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We are like onions, aren't we? And once we start unpeeling the layers, there's more and more, and then there's the next level, and there's the next level, and the next level, and the next level. But you become lighter, and you realize, oh gosh, it's all about the self-awareness, isn't it? Oh, I used to do that. Oh yeah, that used to really bother me. I mean, before, honestly, if we'd have been doing this, this podcast, 4 years ago, and and you messaged me to say, oh, I've got no Wi-Fi, I'd have been freaking out. I'd have been like, oh my God, it's got to be perfect. We can't do it at the cafe, blah blah blah. And I'd have just lost it, because I was such a perfectionist. And it's just, it's just letting it go and go, well, you know what, this is life. Let's go with it and see. So that's yeah, interesting. Good. I'm happy that that's that we've managed to come together today. Even though Zoom's having a problem picking up lots of voices, it's absolutely fine. We're coming to the end of the podcast, and that's fantastic. So what do you hope your story will inspire in other women who are listening today, Sabre?
It inspires them to follow me and see what's possible for them in all areas of their life. And just to know that, that old saying where it's like, if she can do it, I can do it. Even if this inspires one woman to be sitting there, even if she doesn't have a supportive husband, or if she has a boss that she hates, or a job that she doesn't like, or she feels that she has kind of lost herself in motherhood, wherever it is, even if you inspired one person to make that choice internally of like, you know what, I'm going to actually do what I want to do in my life, and choose myself and bet on myself and go for what I want.
Oh, I think that's a perfect answer, isn't it? And that's all we can hope for, is to inspire and empower other women that are listening. So yeah, so a million thanks to Sabre BRUFFY for joining me today, and thanks to our audience for hanging out with us. We hope you found it inspiring and empowering. And for more information on how to work with either of us, you can find all the information on Spotify or also on YouTube. So until next time, this is Beth signing out, and Sabre, we are saying goodbye. Bye.